back. It's Sonia G, and this is the MoonBabes Monday Night Live on a Tuesday. Yesterday, because of the energies of the full moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse, I was completely recalibrating. So that's why we're doing this today, and we got disconnected, and I'm pretty sure that it's my energy because it's just been like pow. It's been like light bulbs blowing up and things. Anybody else? Tell me how are you guys feeling after the eclipse? And I know that some of you messaged me with questions. I didn't get a chance to see them before. I remember reading some and telling a few of you guys, hey, we'll chat about it in the Monday Night Live, which is on Tuesday, but still. And then I forget because sometimes that happens. So, I'm holding black kyanite. This is an amazing stone. So we're going to just ground in this energy. So it's been really super electrifying. And yesterday, what was happening for me is my circuits were, for any of you that were experiencing the same thing, the rewiring of what the downloads that were coming in was making it so that it was really difficult for me to speak. And so that's why I was typing for you guys, and I messaged back and forth with some of you during the time that I usually do the live, but it was hard to speak because the words are, sometimes it happens, it's like recalibrating. And so you just have to, learn with the upgrade. So, energy-wise, you've been fine, the enlightened one. That's good. So it's really a burst of energy that's coming through, and it really depends on where you're at in your life and kind of what you're dealing with, the way that it feels. And so I was talking in the earlier video that a lot of people are coming up on hard choices about how they deal with things in life, where it has to do with alcohol or drugs or coffee or things that alter your state of being. It's like that stuff just doesn't work anymore. And the biggest thing that we can do for ourselves is to stick to the truth, to be in our truth, to always be in alignment, always seek the alignment. And the thing is that the alignment sometimes is not the easiest thing. And we feel like we literally have these two doors, and we can walk over here or we can walk over here, and it's a completely different life. But this is where you have to take the leap. And I can tell you, because I have been doing so much work and I've been faced with a lot of things that I had to choose on, I completely jumped into a completely different life in the past month, really. And once you leap, once you actually jump, even though you don't know whether you're going to land, okay, it feels like there is no landing. But that's the thing. You got to do the jump and you got to do the free falling, and then it's like the road appears, right? The net appears. But you have to be willing to jump. You have to be willing to take that leap of faith. And right now, it's really like, the faith is a down payment for your future. It's really how it works, because there is no certainty, and we have to be able to navigate without certainty. A lot of beliefs are being shattered. My personal beliefs were completely challenged recently too, because I worked closely with someone that that was exposed to a lot of knowledge at the White House, actually. And so in conversations, there were a lot of things that were challenged, and a lot of people's beliefs are being challenged on whichever level you are. And this is part of the recalibration. It's part of, what we are needing to figure out. And the thing is, there's no other way. There's nobody that can do this for you but yourself. And so it's an inner journey, and you really have to find, that inner connection. I mean, obviously, having a reading or, doing meditation, doing, this work, this is the work that's helpful. But ultimately, you are the one that decides, because I can't make that decision for you, and no coach or healer or teacher can make the decision for you. And so it's kind of that thing you really have to go from your inside, you have to just jump. You have to jump on that 5D frequency bus, like I like to call it, because nobody else is going to like intentionally, molecularly do that for you. Okay, question. In total free fall and loving it. Yay, it was completely full of energy yesterday. Not so much today, but riding the wave. And that's exactly it. It's about riding the wave, trusting in yourself, knowing that you have your own back and you can always fall, on knowing yourself and knowing your truth. And that's the only thing that matters, is for each one of us is to get to know yourself and to know how to tune inwards and how to connect with yourself on a higher level. That's why on all of my meditations, I always take you guys to connect with your higher self, to connect with the higher frequencies, connecting with, your guides, and knowing that you have support outside of the physical support, because this is where you will actually be able to fall back on yourself. Like, that you have your own back instead of, looking outwards, because certain things like looking outward for support, looking outward for certain things, it doesn't help you when it's about personal belief. You can ask, and you can have, amazing friends and amazing support groups and, great conversations, which is absolutely 100%. It's such an important part of life. But at the end of the day, it's you, yourself, your higher self, your baby self, all of yourselves that you've ever been in this life that are making the decision on your path. And so you have to know how to connect and how to be, in alignment with yourself. And that's like the most valuable thing that you could possibly do. So super important. Sparky Zon says, I've been in a vortex all from Saturday. Yes! So in our fire ceremony in MoonBabes Society, we did a full moon, blood moon, lunar eclipse fire ceremony, and we got our vortex going around us of high energy, and it was so amazing. And then I always give you guys the option, whether you want to stay in the vortex, if you can hold on and handle the high frequency energy, or if you want to collapse it down. And it's so fun. I love knowing that you guys are still in the vortex. That's how I live. That's how I like to live. It's so much better. Allison says, the vortex was new for me, but it was fantastic. Yay! It made making the leap very safe. Love that. Oh, good. Allison, I'm so happy to hear. That is exactly when we surround ourselves, when we figure out how to hold ourselves in higher energy and we have these tools, it's amazing. And hello, loves. Oh, I love seeing that you're all connecting. Christina says it was very good to be in alignment. Yeah, it feels really good to be in alignment. We want to be in alignment. Yes, yes. Absolutely. So one of the things that's really important to do with this energy, you guys, is you have to get yourself you have to get yourself very clear. You have to have your intentions, and you have to let go of everything else that's between you and your intentions. And if you're looking for support in doing that, I, of course, strongly suggest that you try MoonBabes Society and the meditation that we did, because when we do these meditations, which I call meditation events, maybe I should call them meditation experiences, because there's so much more. I don't just guide you through, happy meditation. We do work. I have gone through 12 years of all sorts of self-development, healing kind of training, and it all comes together in these meditations. And so we really do that cellular release work. We connect with the higher frequencies. We use many different tools to really work with the astrological energies. And right now, we have all the planets direct. It's like, whew, you got to do it. But the cool thing that we do, that I do for every meditation event that we record, is I encode it in the quantum field for you guys, which means that every single time that you go back to that meditation, it always feels alive, and it always serves you in. Oh, my alarm just went off reminding me that if I want to download this video and put it on YouTube, I should probably pay attention to that. But every time you go back to the meditation, it's alive and it serves you, and you connect to that particular energy. And when I discovered years ago that we could do this, it's amazing, because these meditations that get encoded in the quantum field are alive. It's like we open up our own little wormhole of time, and then you can jump back in it, and you can go back and get that transformational frequency, or get that healing frequency, or go back to that alignment with Sirius. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing the things that we can do. So let me see. I know that you guys had some questions that came up. Precious Anna, it felt very emotional these few days. Thought a lot about people, human behaviors, and just sadness. I let it out and cry, hoping that it goes away soon. Yes, a lot of crying. And you know what? For me too, I have done so much releasing, so much crying. And there is a lot of sadness. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of really good energy and a lot of really low vibratory energy that goes around in terms of the blood moon. Because the blood moon is used in like negative rituals. They do all sorts of stuff. But there's always two sides. There's the good and there's the bad. There's the light, there's the dark, however you want to call it. And so there are things to mourn to bring more light in. There are things to mourn to bring more light in. And you just have to really choose where you want your alignment to be, because it's like the dimensions are splitting. And so instead of going back and forth now, we get to just jump. We get to always be in that higher vibrational. That's what this year is about. This year is about living your life, waking up, feeling the 5D, holding on to it, being in that state of flow, and really processing that shift daily, not just here and there. And that, you know, and whenever you go to like your yoga class, or whenever you go to like, you know, your different meditation classes, it's like every single day. So super important. Okay. Questions. Oh, love MoonBabes Society. Yay! Yes, it's definitely an experience, and it's hard to put in words the absolute amazingness that happens. Oh, thank you. Yay! I appreciate that. And it's really true. It's an experience. You have to experience it. Once you go through it, you're like, oh my gosh, where was this healing of my life? This is what I need. Christina, I too really appreciate both MoonBabes Society and the Sacred Chakras journey. Oh, you guys. It is life-changing. So grateful for Sonia's wisdom and guidance. Thank you, you guys. Don't make me cry. I appreciate it. It makes my heart so happy when I get your messages, and that I know that these tools are able to transform lives. Seriously. It's so, there's so much knowledge, and together, the more we, you know, the more you guys learn and we all learn together, then the more it just keeps going and going and going, because I have been known to attract all those of you that are healers, and you have your own people. So if I can teach you things and explain things to you, then I know that in turn you will also teach things and explain things and have your own people. And this is how we rise together. This is how we shift into these higher dimensions. So it just makes me so happy to know that we keep doing amazing things together. Jason says total white light positive. Yes, there's been a lot of positive. So you, Jason, you especially, make sure you bring all of the good stuff in. We have all been, and I say that obviously because there's so many of us that have received attacks. There's a lot of that happening, you guys. And there's many tools that I go over with you guys, and we'll probably talk about this stuff in the MoonBabes Society. Oh my gosh, we have our first coaching call for MoonBabes Society this Thursday. I am so excited. It's a much structured version, obviously, of, you know, what we do when we're in the lives. Hi, Nina. Hi, you guys. So, I am so happy to be able to have these, you know, this time for you guys. I was talking about MoonBabes Society with somebody today, and I realized that truthfully, we have a date together every week, 3 weeks out of the month. And that is really like support. And by date, I mean we do a new moon meditation, we do a full moon meditation, and then one of the weeks we also have a coaching call, a group call. And so you really do have that consistent support and guidance that happens throughout the month. And the reason why I launched it early, you guys. My plan was to launch it in March with the beginning of the new astrological year, but then my guides and angels were like, no, you gotta go right now. That's why some of the features are still coming, because I'm finishing up my work in the meantime, but it was so important for us to start and capture these energies and, these alignments that are coming in at the beginning of the year, because it's just, the shift is happening right now. And so those of you that are going to be joining, in February and in March and even in April, you'll be able to go back to these meditations, which is the amazing thing. You'll be able to go back to the work that we've done right now and benefit from it and, be able to continue. So it's going to be amazing for you no matter at which moment you start. But I strongly suggest you do the work sooner than later, because it's going to help you navigate in a much happier, much more joyful state of being. When we can release and we can be in alignment with the energies of the planets, it's like, it's just, you're going in the right direction. So yeah. The healer is the one that gives the tools to teach others to heal themselves, and that's exactly what you do. Thank you. That's exactly right. I can't do it for you guys, but I can teach you all the things, and together we do great work. We really do. And I do have this gift of being able to connect to all of you guys, and so that's the biggest thing that happens when we get together and we meditate together is, I can remotely connect with you all. And so I know where you're at, and I know if there's tweaks, and I will speak them out loud. And so I guide you through the meditation, and if there's things that need to happen, if somebody needs to recalibrate their space, if you need to go, a little bit think this way or a little bit think this way. And then a lot of times, what happens after the meditations, I'll get these messages saying, oh my gosh, I feel like you said that just for me. And I probably did, because that's kind of how it goes. And so I'm in tune. My higher self always comes through, and there are things that I know that need to be spoken because I feel you guys. And so it's really cool. So you're not just doing the meditation on your own, you're fully supported. So it's pretty awesome what happens. So if you want to check that out, you guys go to www.moonbabetribe.com, and then scroll down the page and you'll see MoonBabes Society, and it's a monthly Moon Club membership for all the mystical, magical babes that are going through their awakening journey. And it will just guide you. It's a program, it's a subscription that will guide you on your way so that you are held. And we have an amazing Facebook group, which I already love what's happening in the Facebook group. There's so much support and so much sharing of amazingness, and so many people that now are starting to embrace more of this side of themselves. There's so many of you awakening, and it just makes me so happy. And so you're coming out and you're getting comfortable, and it's so important to have a community of like-minded people. So it's amazing. And by the way, all these things that we're talking about right now, it's $22 a month, which is like ridiculously cheap. So because it's still in the preview phase, what I call the preview phase, because again, I was going to launch it in March. And so right now, you guys that are joining right now get the benefit of locking in the price at $22 a month, which is like super extra cheap, but that's what I feel good about, so that I am, still building the things on the back end. And so, okay, questions. Can you explain the meaning of life path numbers? Oh yeah, you did ask me that question. You know what? That is something that we may take on when it comes to one of our coaching calls, because that's actually really in depth. That would take me like a whole one of these. And life path numbers are really, there's so much of our life that's based in numbers. And the bottom line of that is that each one of us our birthday is not an accident. The numbers that you see are not an accident. So within your birthday and within your name, you think your name was an accident, it's not. The letters in your name all come down to numbers, and the numbers in your birthday obviously all come down to a specific numbers. And these numbers are very meaningful. There's many ways that they can be read, but they give you an indication of your path. It's kind of like, it's numerology. It's kind of a different, ology than astrology. It's a different science per se, even though it's not recognized as science. But it's the study of how these frequencies affect us, and nothing is ever by accident. It's the choices, it's like, okay, I'm going to give myself, a cheat sheet for life when I go to Earth, and so this is how I'm going to encode it. And it's done through our birthday and through our charts and through these numbers. And so these are, our guidance, basically, that comes through. So we will, Night Train 2.0, so glad I tuned in. Wow, that's good, I'm glad. So it really is all together, it's the numerology and the astrology, and there's so much, all the ologies. And then you start to add in, the meditation and the healing and the self-development and the mindset. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, life is looking totally different. It's opening up in a different way. And so, so we'll chat more about it because there's so much to be said on it. And then there's angel numbers, which are totally different than life path numbers, but that's a difference. And so your birthday numbers add up to a different path number and life path number. And also when you look at, the life path, there's two ways. I think there's like a soul path number, and a life path number. And I can't remember which one is which, but one of them you actually look at your day and your month of your birth, but you add up the current year. And that gives you an idea of how this particular year, the vibration of this year is going to go. Because you have to remember that all these things come down to vibrations. So numbers, letters, words, they all hold a vibration. Speaking of, I'm going to bring up something that a soul sister of mine, Betsy, mentioned to me right before the blood moon lunar eclipse, because we were talking about how this is a huge letting go and releasing kind of opportunity. And she messaged me and said, have you thought about the word release, as in re-lease? And I was like, whoa, I had never seen it like that. It was amazing. And so I told her, I'm going to meditate on this and I'm going to see what my guides and everything says. And if you have read the book, The Four Agreements by Pablo Coelho, you know that words are like spells. We can put spells on ourselves by speaking certain words. That's why it's so important that we speak truth and that we speak out of integrity. So releasing, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to get a lease on that again. And that's not a good thing to say. And so when I meditated on it, what I got was that, because this is how I get my information. I get my information really by meditation. And so, I got that this is how karma gets recycled. It's really a part of karma. So if you guys noticed, I made that switch very quickly, and in the blood moon meditation, I did not use that word at all. I said surrender, I said let go, and I can't remember what other words I used, but I did not use the word release, because we don't want to put that cycle, as a cycle that's going to come back. We want to just surrender it. Done. Adios. Goodbye. Not like have it in a cycle of coming back, right? So it's really time that these kinds of things, come to our awareness. And when it's time, obviously, Betsy was my angel at this time. I have, my angels were probably like trying to tell me this, and I was like, I'm running around because I have 3 different fire ceremonies for the blood moon, and so I didn't hear it. And they always find a way to deliver the information to you. So thank you, Betsy, for being my angel in this case, and messaging me about it. And I love when that stuff happens, because then it's like boom, and then I know that it's something to implement right now. And then as I went through my day and did different ceremonies and different events for the blood moon, I was very careful not to use that word, for everybody else that was in that energy. And so see how that just got extended, to so many of you guys that were able to actually surrender and be done instead of recycling it back. So amazing work that gets done. It always, all of us together do amazing things together. Tori, it's going to be, you can catch the replay for sure. She said I'm a little late. It's a little late of a live. So, but I love you guys, and I wanted to come on and make sure that we kind of talked about the energy. And if you're integrating, remember to take it easy on yourself, to drink lots of water, and to really just let go of the stuff that you need to let go of, because I can't say it enough. We all know deep inside, and even though it's hard, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It requires getting uncomfortable. Creating a new life is not comfortable, but instead of anxiety, switch that into excitement. Don't worry about this stuff over here. Focus on the excitement of creating something new, because it's there and you just have to grasp it, and then it's beautiful. Ciara, happy birthday. Today is my birthday. Anything helpful you can share on your solar return? Ooh, well, we'd have to look at, your chart, but whenever your solar return is that is your learning year. So if this is your solar return year, then this is a learning experience ahead for you. And so it depends on how it falls, and you have to really look at your chart, which I only do astrology when it's like intuitively. And so that's actually, solar returns are a deep question. But you just have to look at what, the house that it falls in and the signs that it falls in, and you'll see how it's going to affect you. We all have those. We all have astrology. It comes back. But right now, in general, when it comes to the energy, this is a positive birthday, because this is a positive time for everybody, where so many of the planets are dignified, meaning the planets are in their home signs, and all the planets are direct. So it's like you are feeling that push forward, and you really have to grasp it. You have to take that leap of faith. You're right. You said solar return, not Saturn return. I'm sorry, Ciara. For some reason, I know I said solar return, but in my mind, I was thinking Saturn return. So on your, you're right. This has been, your solar return is your birthday, and it's when your sun comes back into the day of your birth. So this is where you get like, an ignition of your own energy. So it's your own, like imprint. When we come down to earth, right, we go through, our soul gets an encoding through the sun. We go through the sun portal. This is why the sun is our personality. And, and when we look at our horoscope, the sun is our personality, and the moon sign is our emotional sign. And so when you look at that, it's the encoding. And so every time we have a birthday, it's you kind of realign with that personality, with that encoding, and it's like a trigger. There's something that happens in you where if you were on, it's like your dials turn a little bit and you just get reminded, right? And so that's really the alignment that you're looking for. It's the codes. And so it's a good time to have a birthday. This is a good year. It's going to be a good year for everybody, but it's going to be a good year if you learn to stand in your truth and in your alignment. And you can't fake it, not only a little bit. Remember that. Like, You can't. It just won't feel good. And if you force it, it's going to be really shitty. And that's really what happens. Christina, okay, last question, because then otherwise I won't be able to download the video. I've been wondering, what's your sign? Okay, so I am a Virgo, rising Virgo, and my moon is in Sagittarius. But if you look at my chart, the majority of my planets are in the 12th house. So anybody that's ever seen my chart is like, whoa, it's a really strange chart. So, and that's, you know, and sometimes that's why you're this strange, you know, not strange, but that's why, you know, the 12th house is the house of the occult. And so that's why a lot of knowingness and a lot of connection and some of the gifts that I have come that way. Yes, double Virgo. I have had to work really hard to allow myself, now that you know that, and that those of you that understand astrology, Virgos are perfectionists, okay? Imagine how much I've had to overcome myself to launch a program that I wanted to launch in March and launch it in January, even though it wasn't perfect by my standard, but I knew it had to be birthed because it was time, and it just needed to come to life. And so I just had to trust the guides, and that's something I have had to learn to overcome. Yep. So we all have, you know, we all have our things, so that we're here to learn. But we'll talk about me. I feel like one of these days, I need to do a live and tell you guys my story, because I have some interesting awakening stories, and I started remembering them this year, like back 12 years ago when things hit me, you know, really hard, and I started seeing things, and the way that my awakening came about is it was through events that really, it's kind of like, you know, you see in the movies where like the X-Men situations, and in short story, one of the ways that I learned that I can connect and really reach out and kind of like, you know, project my consciousness, and kind of like at that time you could actually like eject your spirit to go places. Now you can't do that anymore. You can only project consciousness, which is what I teach you guys how to do. Was because I was really, really mad at somebody that had taken their life. And I was so upset that I just had to talk to them, because it was my boyfriend at the time's twin brother who decided to do this. And it was just like devastating situation. And because of that, the gift of that was that I was just so furious that I used every single ounce of my energy to chase him, because I was like, I need to talk to him, and I'm going to figure out how to track down his spirit, and I want to talk to him. That's how I learned. And it was so crazy. And sometimes there's things like that, and I was like, whoa, and some of the things that I saw, and I started kind of navigating you know, the higher realms and figuring it out. And then I sought out people that, you know, where I could get confirmations of the things that I was seeing. And that's how it started. So I have really interesting stories, and, you know, awakenings happen, our eyes are open, our superpowers come online in interesting ways. So I'll tell you guys more stories another day. For now, happy integrating. I love you all. I will see you next week. Please message me if you have questions about MoonBabes Society. If you have not joined yet, please check it out. I'd love to have you for our coaching call on Thursday, where we're going to talk about things and really actually apply coaching skills to what you guys are going through in life. So we're really going to go through, and we do these on Zoom. And then I want to invite you for our month of February. I have some fun meditations planned for you that are going to do with love, and I'll be sharing them with you before the weekend so you can see. So register now while you can get my preview deal, and know that it's not absolutely perfect, but it's perfect in the way that it's meant to be. And that's just really because there's one part of it that has not fully uploaded yet, and that is the calendar. And that's the reason why the price is still at $22 per month. So get in now and lock that price. Right now I just have the dates and the astrological events written out, because I'm still working on the format of the calendar that I want for you guys. So catch that $22 deals. That's why it hasn't changed yet. This is the honest truth. and now you get to keep it as long as you want. So it's www.moonbabetribe.com, and then you can go /MoonBabe Society, or you'll see it right on the first page. It's MoonBabe Society. All right. Tori says, thank you. Loved hearing a part of your story. Can't wait to hear more. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I might do a YouTube video, because then I can actually save the video. So we'll have to do something. I have to figure that out. I'm learning YouTube, you guys. So we'll figure that out. All right. Yay. Christina says, get it, y'all. Thank you. And I love how everybody that's in it is just loving it. It's been so fun. So definitely all of my soul family. It's kind of like everybody that is joining, I feel like, is my soul family. It's reuniting on the planet, all on missions, everybody. So I love having you guys. I love you, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye, you guys. Much love.